Hey guys, welcome to our review of Slayer by Kiersten White. Before we say anything, we definitely recorded a video on her. It hasn't been released.
We're so far behind, it's great, I love it.
But hey, we did it, and we actually really liked the book. It was The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein, so when we got to this book, we were really excited about it.
It was okay.
I mean, here's the thing about us reading this book. I've never seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she has. So
on my last year of high school, I went through a very bad breakup. Oh, the irony. And one of my coworkers was like, you should just watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I marathon watched all of Buffy. And like, it was an experience. I definitely have very fond memories of Buffy. So this was kind of cool to go back into it. But the thing is, this book references a bunch of stuff that happened in the comics that I have not read. So I had to do a deep dive. I wrote a Buffy guide for Chelsea.
Which was very helpful. Maybe we'll post that somewhere.
So this book takes place in the Buffy universe. We are following two sisters who are watchers. Their names are Athena, Nina, and Artemis. They're twins.
And it turns out that somebody has been hunting them since they were little girls because there's a prophecy about one of them mending the world and one of them destroying the world, basically. And nobody knows which one's which. Very few people know about this prophecy, but there was somebody trying to kill them when they were little kids and later in life. And yeah, they're just kind of finding out about it now.
They lost their father when they were quite young because their father was Buffy's watcher, so basically he is Buffy's handler and teaching her how to be a slayer. So these two girls have grown up with a deep-seated hatred of Buffy, which was kind of fun to read because after watching the show, she's the protagonist, you like Buffy, and here it's just like, man, she's such a bitch. It was kind of cool to see that altered perspective because throughout the show there would be a problem, Buffy would go in, Buffy would fix it the Buffy way, and then the end. But this, you get to kind of see the outcomes of how Buffy's actions affected the wilder world.
The wider world.
Wider world.
So there's a lot going on in this book, almost too much. Like, you're never bored, but you kind of just, you get so much back and forth on all these different, like, plot things that are going on that I found myself skipping forward and, like, not keeping track of who knew what or what was being revealed when, because I'm like, oh, this, and this is going on.
You felt like you need to be taking notes.
Because there's a whole bunch of different subplots. There's one subplot with her mom who's very hard on her and her sisters and kind of wants to keep Nina out of the Watcher universe, and then she might be helping this demon who's actually like just like a happy demon. Then there's this thing that's preying on the Watchers in the castle. Then there's this prophecy thing.
Then there's the relationships. Then there's this like mean Watcher girl who's come back. Then there's this underground vampire werewolf fighting ring that one of the Slayers might be involved in. Then there's the whole Slayers versus Watchers thing going on. Then there's the whole magic doesn't exist anymore because Buffy destroyed the seed of truth, I think is what it was called.
Seed of Wonder.
Seed of Wonder. So magic is gone.
And then there's the like underground drug trafficking, demon harvesting ring in a supermarket, basically a Whole Foods. Yeah.
I kind of liked the fact that it was a Whole Foods.
Yeah,
like, here, have magical coffee that'll keep you awake with no like bad side effects. It's artisanal.
Yeah. I like that part.
Cute.
Yeah,
okay,
that was funny. But like, there is so much going on.
And on top of that, the big plot is that Nina realizes the reason her mother did not want her involved in anything Watcher like is because Nina is chosen to be a Slayer, and if Nina undergoes something super traumatic after puberty, like super stressful, that would unlock her Slayer abilities,
then she becomes a Slayer. And so right before the Seed of Wonder was destroyed, Nina became the last Slayer. and she's been going through some changes. Because there are so many subplots, it's very hard to tell you exactly what happens with each of them, but we'll kind of try and sum it up for you. This is a lot. It's a lot. Nina realizes that she has Slayer abilities. She spends the whole book like being like, what does it mean to be a Slayer?
I don't want to be a Slayer. I do want to be a Slayer. I am a Slayer. I'm not a Slayer.
And you're just like, okay, all right.
Everyone will hate me if I'm a Slayer, you know.
Oh, okay. It's fine. It's fine. Then you've got the love interest that has come back, and the plot about the things preying on people in the castle, and those two kind of intermix, because turns out the guy she had a crush on as a kid is actually some sort of demon, and his mother is a succubus.
Okay, so the mother fell in love with the demon, and the demon made the mother into a succubus, and because she was a succubus with the demon, her baby was like a demon spawn, and so the boy that Nina had a crush on is in fact a demon spawn. And I kind of liked it.
Yeah, it was fine.
But like, okay, just what happens to him just make like, it was how I pitched this book to Chelsea, was that this has a YA romance that you will never come across, that you have never come across, and it will stay with you.
So, I mean, eventually Nina figures out that this woman who she kind of admired is actually a demon, and she's been kind of preying on people around the castle, and she wants Nina's Slayer powers, and her crush is very nice and very sweet and will go against his mother in order to help her.
But the problem is the only way that her crush is fed is through the mother. So if the mother dies, the crush will die.
Super body horror.
Yes. And there was this kind of cool like throwaway line where because he's so unnatural, the earth is trying to pull him into its core. So like he's super heavy. So
yeah, gravity is super effective on him.
Whenever they drive anywhere in the car, they have to refill the gas constantly because he's just extra weight.
And like if she tries to drag him, he's super heavy. She can't even do it. He's so heavy. It makes me wonder how the car moved, but...
Yeah. So the plot kicks off when a hellhound is seen near their castle. Nina kills it. Everyone is super shocked that Nina killed it because Nina can't do anything but, you know, be the castle healer. And so that kicks off everyone realizing there's something up with Nina. Then one of their friends finds a demon in his shed.
Like, I didn't think these existed, Nina!
Nina goes against her Slayer instincts to kill said demon and decides to heal him instead. He's wearing a Coldplay shirt.
Turns out his name is Doug.
His name is Doug. He like excretes chemicals that make you happy, and then he feeds on the happiness.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet setup there. And so yeah, Doug is good, and she doesn't kill Doug. And it turns out Doug is being saved by her mother.
Doug has escaped from this gangster
Sean.
mob boss named Sean, who sells demon parts and demon stuff at his Whole Foods.
Doug doesn't want to go back to Sean, and Sean just kind of wants to make money off
of Doug.
Yeah, not a lot comes out of that arc, really. Other than just dealing with Sean.
Because, like, the big climax is them facing off against Sean.
And what's her name? Honora?
Yeah. She was training to be a watcher, and she was out in the field, and she has a thing with Artemis, though this girl was awful towards Nina, and Artemis doesn't know how bad she was.
Nina never told her.
And that's kind of a stressor in their relationship. This book is basically following these two sisters and watching them get ripped apart ever so slowly in ways that could have easily been avoided if they just spoke to one another.
Yeah. Well, Nina, her mother, has been keeping her out of Watcher stuff. Artemis has been the one who's always been in Watcher society, and her mother's always kind of depended on her to be the perfect Watcher and protect her sister. So Artemis has always been protecting her sister. She kind of doesn't have an identity outside of protecting her sister and being a Watcher, even though she kind of wants one.
And she basically goes around keeping everything organized. Like, she organizes the books, she organizes the supplies, she organizes the weaponry, but she will never be a full titled Watcher because she failed the Watcher test, which confuses everyone because she is the best and the brightest. Like, she should have been the one to pass. And you find out that the reason she failed the test was they drug up the prospect watchers. For her, it was save your sister or save the world. If you kill your sister, the world will survive. If you save your sister, the world is going to end, and she couldn't save the world. She chose her sister, so she wasn't trustworthy.
Because there was this other plot over here where, as a kid, you know, Nina and her sister were home and there was a huge fire that was set by the person trying to kill them, you later find out. And the mother comes in and she picks up Artemis first and saves Artemis, and then she comes back for Nina, but it's almost too late. And so Nina's always had this thing where she's like, my mother hates me. She would have rather me kind of died in that fire, sort of like dramatics. Whereas, of course, you find out that the mother had a good reason for saving Artemis first. She could only keep one safe with her magic, and Nina was the stronger one, so she had to take Artemis first. But, you know, it gets built up to be this whole big thing because nobody wants to talk to each other.
So, also, Nina's having these dreams, like Slayer dreams, where she's learning about past Slayers, and she kind of interacts with Buffy in probably one of the, like, best scenes in the book, where Dream Buffy is just like, yeah, everybody hates me.
It's fine.
It's fine.
So the book ends with a big showdown in the bottom of Whole Foods, where Nina is facing off against Sean and Leo, her crush's mother, who's trying to open a hellmouth to get to
the husband
her husband.
Yeah, so
it's a big mess, really.
So she takes Nina's abilities to open the hellmouth, and then Nina remembers there's this specific type of demon that Sean has where it fills up the space. It's constantly growing. So it's currently in this little like water tank, and the pressure of the water is keeping it at like a reasonable size.
Like fish size.
Like fish size. But the moment you break the tank and there's no more pressure, this thing is going to expand and expand and expand forever. To plug the hellmouth hole, she just like throws this expanding demon in it. In what sounds like not a complete fix, plugs the hole and just expands into that hell dimension forever. But it crushes the crush.
Because she can't drag him out of the way.
She can't drag him out of the way, so he dies. I had to reread that because I was focused on the fact that no, this seems like a temporary fix. Like, they're gonna have to come back and close this at some point. And then they were just like, and Leo was still in there. And I'm like, wait, what? Oh.
Did she? Because he kind of comes back at the end and gives her.
But I think he's dead.
But then how did she get her Slayer powers back?
I think, like, he, like, gives her, like, that's his, like, last...
But he's dead!
I don't know. Like, I think maybe he was dying and that was his last, like...
But she
take them back.
But she was dreaming. Like, she was... This was, like, hours later. Like, he would have been dead already. Like, I don't know. I think he's coming back.
Who knows?
Because even at the end of the book, you're like, oh, look... Leo's supposedly dead, and here's the epilogue, and she says nothing about him.
Yeah, that was funny. She's just like, he dies. Like, he dies, and she's just like, doesn't even think about it.
She's just like, oh, I guess I'm gonna start a sanctuary now. And my sister's going off with Honora, and I've patched things up with my mother, and there's Doug. Your crush just died, lady.
The crush that you have had since you were quite small.
Yeah.
This isn't just like, we met yesterday and he's hot.
It's damn this.
She wrote poetry about him.
Yeah. He was an old friend and a good friend. Like, wow, it was pretty cool.
So I'm kind of more interested in the sequel. I want to see who's the one who's going to break the world and who's the one who's going to fix it. Obviously, I think Artemis is going to be the one who breaks the world.
Yeah, has to be.
Nina's going to try and fix it, and it's going to be all dramatic and stuff and...
Stuff's gonna happen. Who knows? Maybe Buffy will actually show up.
Who knows?
Anyways, so it was okay. Read it and it was fine. And you can read it and it'll probably be fine. I just found like there was a lot going on. So much so that I didn't want to keep track of everything that was happening.
For a Vampire Month book, I think there were 2 vampires.
That's it, though. That's true. It was mostly demons.
Yeah, and like the TV show, that was a big thing. It was Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but she fought demons and monsters almost more often than vampires.
Yeah.
So it kind of like worked. But I was like, oh, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer book.
Yeah.
And so ends another Vampire Month.
Woo! Look at us.
There were some highs. There were some lows.
There were some L's. It was good. Alright, so let us know what you thought of this book. Are you a big Buffy fan? Tell us what you thought of this book. And we'll see you guys later. Bye!